It is a beautiful game. Unfortunately, the weather does not match. It is a rainy day in the Lehigh Valley for this USL Eastern Conference matchup. The Bethlehem Steel hosting the Richmond Kickers in a rematch. Bethlehem won on opening day, and it's their only win of the year. Richmond has picked up a couple, and they won their last game, but that was 11 days ago. With Morgan Conklin, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. And on this rainy day, both these goalkeepers are going to be challenged. That ball tends to act a little weird, even on this gorgeous artificial surface. Let's go back, Morgan, to this 4-1 Bethlehem victory in March.
This is a game that they look back on and they have confidence in the way that Bethlehem approached it. They take that away, but Brendan Burke has made it known that this team for Bethlehem has erased from their memory anything having to do with tactics, personnel, because it's a different game. Richmond is a different team, and Bethlehem definitely is a different team, and will have a different lineup today.
We take a look at what the Kickers will bring to town. And that's certainly the fine Japanese midfielder Yudai Imura is going to be a key player for a team that has struggled away from the River City.
This is only their third away game, so they've struggled on their 2 away games so far this season. Obviously, we already mentioned the first. They've been on a roll as of late, maybe not getting all the results that they would like, but the play is a lot better. They're looking to bring that into today.
And Imura has scored a couple of times already this season. We're going to take a look at a beautiful shot from distance here.
And Imura is a player that finds his way in the middle, and you might not see him looking on frame all the time, but when he gets those moments, he makes the most of them. Really nice strike on this ball, looking at one of his goals. 2 goals on this season on just 4 shots. So like I said, he may not always be looking on frame, but he'll make the most of it when he gets there.
On opening day for Bethlehem Steel, Brandon Allen had a brace, but it's the only goals he's had this year.
He made his mark on this game, but also on the team. This was his first game with Bethlehem during this game, but he hasn't done too much since. Looking at one of his 2 goals on that day, he had 5 shots, 2 of which on target, which were his goals, but he only had 27 touches throughout the game. So you see he wasn't really in throughout the whole game. They need him to be a big presence up top. They need him to have a big impact. This is the time of the year where he really needs to get going.
So Bethlehem has not won since that victory over Richmond. The Kickers coming in off of victory, trying to get to 500 on the season in Game 7 for both.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Upgrade to the ultimate entertainment experience. One box, one remote, one place for live TV, recordings, and your favorite streaming apps. Powerful features get you to what you want quickly and easily. And stream live and recorded shows on all your compatible devices or download to watch on the go. Upgrade to TV your way.
Hey Union fans, Dunkin' Donuts has the perfect assist for DD Perks members this season. Score medium hot or iced coffee for $1 the day of every Union home game when you use on-the-go mobile ordering in the Dunkin' app. Order ahead, skip the wait in store, and go! Enroll in DD Perks today and order your next Dunkin' run on the go. Dunkin' Donuts, the official coffee of the Philadelphia Union. The Union runs on Dunkin'.
So it's time for the walkout. Our officiating crew led today by the referee Thomas Snyder. And you may be able to hear some of the raindrops hitting our on-seat microphones at Lehigh and Goodman Stadium. We'll take a look at our 11s. First off, for the Kickers, you got Gentile there at the top, and we talked already about Imura. What else stands out here, Morgan?
Well, the fact that we don't see Dane Kelly. Bethlehem, for 2 games now against Richmond has been expecting Dane Kelly and preparing to see the USL's all-time leading goal scorer. He's not in the 18, did not travel with the team, so they won't face him. So you have Gentili up high, really good, likes to get in behind. So does Brian Shriver out wide left. So that'll be interesting how the two of them work together when both like to play somewhat of a similar game.
Take a look at Bethlehem, and our Bethlehem Steel FC starting 11 is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Derek Jones, that's where my eyes go. He had a great goal against Richmond in the first game, just bodied up the midfield, made it happen for himself. He's second on the team right now in key passes, and he's a guy that Brendan Burke wants to improve his midfield play. They don't have James Chambers. He is not in the 18, still recovering from an injury, so this is the time where he can step up and really improve that play and get what they're looking for from him.
Also, let's watch number 39 tonight, Drew Skundrich, who's from Lancaster, and Skundrich making his professional debut tonight. For Brendan Burke, Natalie attired for Brendan Burke, perhaps the best outfit I've seen in the USL this year. And Lee Cowlishaw in his 18th year. See what he has done with this side. 15 playoff appearances. He is a USL Hall of Famer, 2 USL titles, and he has been the dominant force in Richmond USL soccer. Well, as soon as Bon Jovi shuts up, we'll be ready. And off we go. Bethlehem in the blue. And you can tell it is a natural grass surface here at Lehigh. Lehigh University is the site of this match. Several changes, as Morgan mentioned, from the time that these teams met in March. That also includes not just Richmond, but for Bethlehem as well. We already saw Olivier Bizo, number 5 in blue, getting a touch early on the back line. Skundrich, of course, making his debut is new. And Jake McGuire in goal is a different player than when these teams met in March.
Fabian Herbers as well is on that right side, and Santu Moir gets the start today. He came in as a substitute in that first game, but he did play against the Kickers, and he's a player that Brendan Burke just praises and is so high on. He was runner-up for Rookie of the Year last year within the USL, just a player that when he's on his game, he's one of the best attackers, so creative on that left side, likes to cut in centrally, and he's hard to stop when he's playing his game.
First whistle of the match led to a second whistle as there was a little bit of complaint about the first one, but foul goes in favor of Bethlehem into the box, and it's headed away off the back line, and a quick volley, and it's going to be wide, but a one-timer and a ripper, but didn't really threaten the goal. And you can get a good look now. It is starting to rain harder there.
And seeing a shot that early doesn't look like much, but I don't blame Bethlehem for looking to take that shot, that opportunity this early, just trying to test out the keeper and test out the surface. It's slick, the ball's going to move, so if either team can get somewhat of a good look on frame and just connect with the ball and keep it low, it's going to skip and it's going to be tougher for the goalkeepers.
A physical play right around the center of the field, centering around Brandon Allen, who's drawing a lot of attention. Mikel Williams, 55, was in there pushing, and the official would like the ball placed to his satisfaction. Throw in coming in for Bethlehem. And it'll be Bizo. No, it was going to be Bizo, but instead flicked into the box, cleared and not quite out. And there's Jones wearing the captain's armband. Bizo again. Little contact there. That will draw a whistle. And an early opportunity here for Bethlehem.
Something that you can already see within the first 3 minutes is the high press that Bethlehem likes to play at times. They like to get after the opposing team's defenders and back line. It's going to be even more important today as Richmond looks to build out of the back or get it out of their back line on that slick surface. So if Bethlehem can press high and force Richmond to try to play the ball, it might lead to a turnover for them.
The Jim goes low, head in on goal off the pipe. Rebound still controlled by Bethlehem. They'll try to go back into the box again, and it's rejected by Shanovsky. Trying to get back to the Jim. He is pushed off the ball, and Richmond will try to break out. An unbelievable early opportunity for the home side.
That's Santu Moir. When he is on, he can make an impact. He is actually pretty good. He's not the biggest player, but he's pretty good in the air. He was able to find space there and got a great look on frame. A nice ball sent in. You can see Najem, the way he hit it. He drilled it across, so it only needed to deflect a player.
And the first touch here, and our first look at McGuire. Off to Brandon Aubrey. A little light on the attempt to clear there. And Amura intercepted it. Now Richmond with Shriver going the other way, and he turns it over to Bizo. Well, that seemed like a pretty clear foul there. I don't think you're going to get much of a complaint on that one. Let's take a look at what might have been here.
And it was the ball that was drilled across from Najem that set that up. So by the time Moar, it skimmed his head, the pace that it came with, he just had to redirect it. Just missed frame. A really nice look from Bethlehem. They're putting the pressure on early.
And Bizo run down the right side. Play on, says the referee. Collision with Shriver, who had come a long way back to help out. And very quickly, Bethlehem playing it up. Very fast pace. Mahoney will leave the throw in behind, and Bizo will take it instead. Brendan Burke emphasized when he spoke to us this week, possession was going to be important. He had to get 50% or higher. And some coaches poo-poo that stat. They talk about, you know what, I don't worry about that. But he is very concerned about that for this game.
But that's something that may not be as important. He's a coach that does like that, but you might not see it as much as you would like to in a game like today with the conditions and the rain and the wet surface. So it's not going to be as easy to get possession or to focus on possession, just dealing with the conditions.
Well, he'd be happy to know that the early numbers have him at 75% possession.
Oh, that's good through the first 5.5 minutes.
That won't last. That's like a team that goes out and hits their first 6 3-pointers. You know they're going to start missing eventually to bring it down to normal, but he should be delighted with that. And he's had the only good opportunity there on the Moar header. Bizo getting a lot of work in the early going. And that switch is way off the mark.
We spoke about Derek Jones and his impact in this game. That is just a key moment. He doesn't have to play that ball wide trying to find Moar. He can just keep it on the ground and find Matt Real. He's waiting for the ball. He's opening up his body. He's the best option because that ball can just be slid on the ground. Real can then get forward. Moar can then get forward. There's no need to pop that one over the top and try to play Moar when the simple option is on.
Richmond has yet to get a shot on target, and that pass just barely made it to Umar. And you could see that Gentile just got up after a collision. He got knocked a little silly there, number 92, and he doesn't look quite right as he limps around the area just a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. 92 in the white and red. And that throw-in will go for the Kickers. And now our referee Thomas Snyder stopping play. And a training coming out. This may well be for Gentile. He was knocked down earlier. There was no call made, so it obviously wasn't anything that attracted the referee's attention initially. But when Richmond started to thrust forward, he finally got up and just did not look right. And now he is down again. It looks to be Gentile looking at his right leg. And this is all we were able to get. This is well away from the ball. There you see him there, down. And he got up not long after this, limped around a little bit, and is now limping off the pitch. And hard to say at the moment whether he's going to continue.
You could see players warming up on the sidelines. Never something that you want to see, especially so early in a game. You can just see the frustration on his face. Hopefully it's nothing big. Hopefully he can come back in the game, but you can already see multiple players for Richmond warming up.
Well, they have Cordovez as a forward who might be a logical choice, or Luis Fernando also a forward. So we'll see if he returns or not. You have to wait for the referee to wave him on. Looks like he is not going to return, Morgan. That's a shame. So we'll get a goal kick. Jones. And the captain. Chinoski is the captain for the Kickers tonight, number 5. And on cue, he flips it back to his keeper. So a bad break early for Richmond. And let's see, I believe we're going to get Cordovez. So Gentile out the 9-minute mark, and Cordovez will come in.
Richmond was not expecting to make that sub so early, but they're putting in a player, Cordovez, who's been in the starting lineup, who started against Bethlehem in the first game, who was a big part of this Richmond team, was a big transition in the offseason coming from Charleston. So for Bethlehem, that's not a nice, you don't want to have to face Gentile, but you definitely don't want to have to face Cordovez. So for them defensively, they now have to adjust the game plan and adjust the game of Cordovez because it's different than Gentile. He'll be a bigger forward, a more target forward, won't try to look in behind as much. He'll try to be that bigger presence and also build forward, but they just have different games.
Cordovez has yet to score this season. We'll have a throw-in coming up. And again, just to remind you, that noise you might be hearing, that's just the rain hitting our microphones. It has been that way for a while, and it's probably going to continue for most of this match. Hopefully it will not get any worse. Hopefully we won't have actual storms that could potentially delay our match. Throw-in coming up here now for Bethlehem.
Dave, something that I keep an eye on, I was watching it in the first game as well between these two teams.
A little bit too much there.
When it comes to Cordovez, he's a player, 9 goals last year with Charleston. He was quoted when he came to Richmond saying, we're attacking players, we want to score goals, that's what I came here for. So you know that he always has that mentality and just looking to make an impact.
Herber's down the right side with a run. He'll leave it off here for Bizo. Bizo will serve, headed away by the back line and looked at Chinoski. Got a piece of it, but not out. Still in the box. Opportunity here and a sliding block. I think that was Williams who deflected that all the way almost to midfield. But more pressure being put on by Bethlehem, while Richmond has not done much to pressure Jake McGuire. That bad mistake and a turnover and an opportunity here for Richmond, but no. Swept away. You see a player slipping there. That's, again, we're dealing with a wet surface. That was Osewusu who tripped.
What stands out to me the most about this Bethlehem attack is the creativity that you see getting forward. Herbert's just a nice move. He sees the run coming around by Bizo, is able to play him. The ball is hit behind Bizo, so he's not able to run onto it, but still is able to account for it. Gets the cross off, a nice opportunity. They had runners, but with players like Najem getting forward, there's just so much creativity in this Bethlehem offense.
And Bethlehem again from the box from distance, right on, but a clear look there for Travis Wara, and he's able to make the save.
And that's classic Santumar. Movement off the ball, finding the pass through from Najem and cutting the ball to his right foot. He likes to get that ball on his right foot to look for a shot. The creativity, I mean, I'm going to keep talking about it. Mawar, Najem, Herber's getting forward. The overlap from Bizo. This Bethlehem team, the movement, they provide just different looks each time they get forward.
And the name we haven't mentioned yet, Brandon Allen, hasn't had a touch. That's going to go well over the goal, and a goal kick coming up here for Jake McGuire. And they're doing this without Brandon Allen really being involved in the early going.
Which is a very different team than last year. Granted, Brandon Allen was not with the team. He was with New York Red Bulls too, but this Bethlehem offense relied a lot on their strong, powerful target forwards, Corey Burke, Sekou Kone. They looked for those guys to produce the goals, but this year, maybe they don't have as many goals so far in the season, but they have other guys that are building up and helping in the attack, and it's not just relying on 2 main players to finish all the goals.
That hit off the shoulder. You can hear some yelling for the handball, but a good no call by the ref. And a throw-in should be for the Kickers. Austin Yearwood. And a good tackle there by Bizo, who's had an impact in this match in the early going. So Cordova, 16, the substitute for Gentile, who was injured, suffered something with his right knee. I hope that is not a long-term injury for that young player. Shriver beat 2 defenders that time. His pass a little lazy. Now breaking through. Richmond with a chance and a goal! And it's Cordovas off the bench. Yearwood set it up, and Cordovas knows what to do with it.
Richmond was able to jump on the poor communication from Bethlehem when they were unable to clear the ball. The ball was stuck between Matt Mahoney and Olivier Bizo. They couldn't clear it, and then you see Yearwood get forward. He sends a nice ball across, stepping to the ball, trying to get there's Mahoney. He's late. It slips through in Cordovas. He's a forward. He is going to finish that. If it's right at the penalty mark in the run of play, he's going to finish that.
And if you're Brendan Burke, the manager for Bethlehem, you've got to be a little bit concerned, because those were the kind of problems they had in about a 20-minute stretch against Louisville in their last game, where the defending champions lit them up for 3 goals in that stretch, and it was plays that looked a lot like that one that Louisville was able to score on. So Richmond on the board first. Allen was trying to chest trap a high service, and Richmond will try to break free with that. They cannot. Now Jones into traffic, rejected by the back line.
And we're seeing Bethlehem get forward with numbers, which is great, but the field stretches out so much. They're fortunate that Cordovas had a poor touch there, and they were able to regain possession, because as they get forward, they're sending the numbers. They want to play long initially, which is great. But if the rest of the numbers commit and then they don't work back defensively, the field is stretched, and Richmond has all the space in the midfield.
Bethlehem has not won since opening day when they beat Richmond 4-1. That was March 18th. They are on a 5-game winless streak. They have a couple of draws to their name. Kickers haven't played in 11 days, and that last game was a win. Cordovas getting his first goal of the season, and I would imagine Yearwood gets an assist for that. At least he should. And back to Travis Wara. Goals against average in his 6th game now, 1.6. More pressure. Stopped by Shinosky. And that little bit of a late tackle is going to result in a free kick here for Richmond. And we'll see if our referee goes for a card here. No, I don't think so. That was Imura who was taken down. Just a quick conversation with Herbers, but no card.
Herbers has gone low in a couple tackles. I think that could have been card-worthy. The way that he came in, the angle, he wasn't going to get to the ball.
Late.
I'm surprised that's just a talking to, especially when it's slick out. Players are going to be able to slide even easier and get into tackles that way. So I'm surprised that wasn't a yellow, just because of the angle that he came at Imura with.
50-50 ball in midfield, and Cordovas getting into it with Jones there, and Jones is going to wind up winning the ball with a tremendous effort. Attack down the left side for Bethlehem, a little bit too strong, and a throw-in coming up here on a rainy day at Goodman Stadium in Lehigh on the campus of Lehigh University. USL Eastern Conference action as May starts getting into Saturday, Wednesdays, and Sunday matches, and the schedule really begins to pick up. Herberts. They had Moar breaking down the left side. Going back and forth. Allen, dangerous in the box. He'll fire. And was that deflected? And yes, it was. A corner kick first of the match coming up.
Brandon Allen was high on the back line, but he was towards the left side, and you could see Santi Moar wanting the ball, starting to make his dashing run in behind the back line. Najem is a player that can feed that through the defenders, but when Moar started going, Allen was there. It stopped his run, and then you could just see they weren't on the same page.
Going high, far post. Flick header, no good. Shot blocked, and really not much of a shot that time. Trying one more time, and that's an easy play for the keeper.
When this ball is played across, it's not a bad idea. Excuse me, I'm looking at the next play, the later one that the goalkeeper caught. If the ball's played across, it has to be whipped in. Take the conditions into account. You don't need to loft it. It doesn't need to go to the keeper for an easy save. If anything, keep it low and whip it so it's harder for the goalkeeper because it's going to skip. There will be deflections. If the conditions were better, that's not a bad ball, but you have to take that into account when you play and know what the game brings.
Herber's had it knocked away, and now the attack for Richmond, and a bad pass there, but recovering it rather nicely. The kickers keep the pressure on. Yearwood. Now coming from the left side, Brian Shriver. Shriver will serve again. Oh, that just missed. Headed off the back line by Real. That was close. Williams puts the head to it, and nicely done directing it to Shriver. Amura has some space. He'll chase it down and maintain control. And Richmond now getting the possession. Minutes tacked on to their tally. Flag is up. That'll be an offside.
Defensively for Bethlehem, they stayed tight in that last build-up. You saw Amora dribble forward with the ball at his feet. He had Cordovez, who made a dashing run. And the space to Amora's right was open, but the way Bethlehem closed it, he couldn't get in there, and he wasn't able to cut his defender. So a nice job from them to really squeeze the space and not allow the movement to open up.
Gerber's, as the rain seems to be picking up. In fact, without question, it's picking up. Bizo. Oh, that was clever. He wanted a handball there and didn't get it. Tried to win the ball back, couldn't do it. And just an absolute downpour right now. Osewusu couldn't get much on that, but didn't need to. You get a really good look at how hard it's raining right now. Not enough on that header to clear it. Cordovez to Shriver. Shriver being very, very patient here. Trying to win the 1v1 against Bizo, and he's too far, but still in play. And Bethlehem will try to get control and try to flush this threat out of there. Moer all the way back on the back line to try to help out.
Dave, I can promise you that idea of trying to win possession may have just been thrown out of the window, because trying to win possession at this point is almost impossible. But this last opportunity for Richmond, Shriver does a nice job cutting the ball to his left foot. That's not a bad ball in because he had Gonzalez on that far side. Just a little bit too much, but defensively, Bethlehem has been pretty tight, but it was that communication lapse. And like you said, hearing from Brendan Burke is that was their biggest issue against Louisville. They have spurts of good soccer and playing well, but if you break down and it's for a long period of time, teams will punish you.
What about concentration here, Morgan, in this situation? This rain is just getting heavier and heavier. You folks who are watching, you can hear the rain. Obviously, you can see it. How do you maintain your concentration?
It's hard. It's so easy to focus on the rain and think about how poor the conditions are and how you wish it was a better day. But at the same time, you can use it to your advantage. You can play a little bit differently in the rain. Keep the ball low. Like I said, whip balls across. It's just a different game when it's raining like this. Ball
loose in the box here. Opportunity for Bethlehem, too high. The Jim missing on that one. Real with a spirited run. Gave it a good try setting up the Jim there. But again, shooting high, as you do not advise they do. But the best he could do at the moment.
And that's one of the biggest things when it comes to concentration and focusing in the rain like this. Real did a nice job getting his run forward. Bethlehem does a nice job bringing their outside backs into the game. A good ball laid back to Najem. His first touch brought him back, so he created that separation touch, and he had time. If he kept it low and drilled it, force Ward to make a save. Don't make it easy on him. Never do you want to make a goalkeeper's life easy when he's trying to save a ball, but especially in the rain, why would you bail him out? Force him to make a save, have him get dirty, have him get low. They have to force these goalkeepers to do more.
Bethlehem had an early opportunity on a header by Moer, just missed off a beautiful service, and that's really been their best chance so far. Allen will try to get the tack started with a pass out to his left, and then Allen will sprint toward the middle. Keep an eye on 40 in blue here. There's a shot. There's a low shot and wide, but that is more of what perhaps Bethlehem needs to do.
And before all of that, it was nice seeing the numbers committed into the attack, but Moar just creates his own space, is able to beat defenders, go wherever he wants to on the field. Misses targets off frame, but you can see how the ball kind of slips and just skips and goes faster once it hits the ground. So that's a good idea from Moar, and I want to see more of that. I don't mind the movement and the creativity. I love that, but the final ball, keep it low.
Also, I have to wonder, this being a grass surface, how well is this going to drain or hold the water? At the moment, I don't see any puddling, and that's to the credit of this people who put the field together. But it'll be interesting to see as this goes on, because that rain is heavy, and it's been going on since before the match started, how this pitch will hold up and whether we will get puddling. And you take a look there, our crack USL weather team letting us know this rain's going to go on into the night. It's our Duval radar. Jones, key players, Morgan mentioned at the top of the show. Number 8, Derek Jones, wearing the armband, has a goal on the year. In fact, it was against these Kickers on March 18th in a 4-1 Bethlehem victory, but the Steel trails here 1-0. Jose Wusu now to Cordovas, who came on for Gentile in the 9th minute and scored the only goal so far. Tackled off the ball professionally that time by Jones. Matt Mahoney, 48. And just getting there in time is Herberts. Play on, says the official.
That was one of those moments. If Herberts tried a little harder to get to that ball, I think he would have gotten the call. Yes, he was pushed, but he went down so easily. If he would have shown a little more effort trying to get to the ball, he would have had the call in his favor.
Kel Williams instead put up a human wall. A couple of skilled traps that time for the Kickers. Trying to get to an even mark. They have 2 wins, 3 losses, and a draw on the year. Neither of these sides in the top 8 of the Eastern Conference at the moment. The Eastern Conference, the top of that, you find Cincinnati and Louisville. Cincinnati had another huge crowd on Saturday, over 20,000. Turnover. Bethlehem going wide to Moar. Allen in front. Moar trying to create. Drops it off the top! Rebound comes out, fired and wide. Unbelievable bad luck for Najim. 2 times they have hit either a crossbar or a pipe. Incredible.
Bethlehem is knocking on the door. They are strong defensively. Moar was able to pick that ball off and then get into the attack. Najim just play makes, gets a nice strike on frame. He hits the ball well, but this ball back across has been on for both teams. He strikes it well, unfortunately hits the post or crossbar, and then Herberts is ready for the ball back down, but they've missed that left corner a couple times. That's where Bethlehem is looking. It's just a matter of time at this point.
Now Richmond trying to counterpunch. They already have the early advantage here. And it should be a throw-in for Bethlehem Steel FC, and it is. That's unbelievable. That shot beautifully directed by Najim. So can Bethlehem get some luck to equalize this match? They'll get the ball here. Got to be careful in your own end, however, and they turn the ball over. Amura. Richmond content to reset, but be careful as there's some forechecking going on here.
For a team that wants to win possession, even though it's difficult on this field and in these conditions, you can't just give the ball away defensively in your own defensive third. You can't play a 50-50 in the air and not win it. So maybe possession is going to be a difficult stat, but that's just decision making. That shouldn't happen.
Well, a quick recap shows Bethlehem with a slight advantage in possession, 54 to 46%. But the one stat that matters most favors the Kickers. Tough takedown there, but no call. Skundrich got decked. Making his professional debut today, Drew Skundrich for Bethlehem, out of Stanford, but he's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Oh, there you see what's going to happen, and more than once it's already happened as Brandon Aubrey just flat slipped. With more pressure coming on. Moar. Oh, sweet skid. Can he find the back of the net? He passes. There's your equalizer. And they kept it low. Real with the goal.
Mahoney slipping worked out in his favor because it created more time and space for Moar to get into. He just gets to the end line with this ball. So cheeky, this cutback. I mean, come on. Lays the ball back perfectly. That ball has been on. I mentioned it just a couple seconds ago, and Real wants it. You see him pointing at his feet, jumping up and down. He's able to settle his feet and find that far post. Beautiful finish. He wanted that one.
Well, I was fully expecting Moar to take the shot. I think everybody was expecting it. He had drawn a crowd, and all of a sudden Real unmarked to the top of the box.
He didn't just draw a crowd, but right before he played the ball back to Real, he did an arm swing, looking like he was going to gain his momentum, get his body set to shoot it. So he was looking his body-wise, and he also had that arm movement, which really looked like he was going to shoot on frame. And then just the little cutback was on. I'm surprised Real got his feet set in time, though. He was almost up in the air when the ball came to him.
He was screaming for that ball, and he got it. So Moar will get the assist. And the goal for Real, his first of the season.
And there have been a couple games where you see glimpses of what Santi Moar can do, and I just want to see more. And I want to see more of what he can do and his creativity and just the way that he brings others into the game and draws defenders. You always have to know where he is. And we're seeing today, just in the build-up, all that he can do when he's on.
And he has it now, wide left to the goalkeeper's right. Spinning the defender around again. A dangerous player just throwing it out into traffic to see if he can get lucky. Pressure being kept on by Bethlehem, trying to flick it over to Allen, and Travis Ward had enough of that. He wants that ball out. Well, Real had one chance earlier taken away from him by the pipe. Well, that was the Jim, actually, who had the pipe. And two off the goal, essentially, for Bethlehem before they finally settle one in the back of the net. Referee, by the way, in play. We play on whenever the ball hits the official.
And it was just a matter of time from Bethlehem. You could see it, but it was one of those moments where they had a defensive lapse. But besides that, offensively, they were strong and putting this Richmond team under pressure and committing numbers forward into the attack, creating in the final third. It was just, when is that ball going to come? And the reason that finish from Real was so on, granted, it's all that Santi Moar did beforehand, but that's such a high percentage shot. When the ball's cut back across, he finds space for himself, finds that open grass. The angle he's looking on frame with, it's such a high percentage opportunity. So that's why you see both teams really looking for the ball to get end line and then cut it back across.
That'll be a throw-in for Bethlehem. A little collision there with Amora and Skundridge, but no call. Thomas Snyder, the official. We've had no cautions so far. And one substitution as Giuseppe Gentile was knocked out of the game with a right leg injury. And his substitute, Cordovas, comes on and scored the Richmond goal in the 10th minute. Now, Bizo wide right. And a corner kick coming up as a sliding tackle that time, forcing the corner kick.
Austin Yearwood able to stay stride for stride, but you can just see the difference in a player when we see Moar get forward and then maybe a player who isn't as creative and just is doing what he can as an outside back getting forward. You just see the difference.
Now Moar has gone to the right side there. A short corner, lays it up, and there's a header just wide. Skundridge had the opportunity. You talked about it. You've said the word creative several times already, and there's another example.
I mean, it's just unbelievable what he can do. Both feet so strong on both sides, but Skundridge able to use his frame and get up for that header. That'd be a special day for him. First pro start, first pro goal.
And he's a local, too, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, just to add to that a little bit. And actually helped turn that ball over, but it's a little bit too much, and Richmond will get the throw in.
Just this ball laid back across Moar. You can see the bend and how it comes away from goal. It forces Ward to slide over, find where the ball is. Skundridge is able to get up and make connection, but just misses frame. for the most part, every shot that Bethlehem has taken that is missed, I think it's gone to that left corner. That's where they are looking to find. I don't know if that's just how it works in the run of play, if that's something they've talked about, but that seems to be where they're missing. And then it's funny because when the ball goes in, it went to the right corner.
Yep. Left-footed strike by Real for his first goal of the year, and they did intelligently award Moar the assist, as they had to. A little mistake there, and Richmond will get it right back. Temperature is around 61 degrees at kickoff, but you soak those uniforms for 45, 50 minutes, and it's going to feel about 10 degrees colder. There's Skundrich again. Pushed off the ball a little bit, however, by Osewusu. Richmond had some success attacking on their offensive left side with Brian Schreiber, number 21. Now the kickers go all the way back to start over. Williams, who's from Trinidad Tobago. And Cordovas just lost his balance and will play on with the advantage, but there is a man down. That's the Jim. Shake it up a little bit on that play. The referee ruled advantage. Herbers, very patient right now. And still down is the Jim. And now the referee will stop play. And the Jim, and listen, on a wet and miserable day like this, you're not faking it if you stay down, and they are calling for the trainer.
You hate to see this. The way that he was taken down, he was just attacking the ball, and Cordovas had lost possession. Looked like Cordovas slipped a little bit, missed his footing.
Looking at his right leg as well. Now watch, it's 24 that's going to be shaken up.
His bottom leg gets cut out from under him. Cordovas just gets pushed off the ball, tries to slide and get it.
That's an awkward landing, too. If you notice, the landing on that leg was not smooth. And again, that's just an accident. I agree. I think Cordovas had no intent at all, and there is no foul on the play. They played on. But that, I didn't like the landing. We're going to see some stoppage time, some somewhat significant stoppage time, because we've had Jim here shaken up, and then Gentile, who was unable to go. But here it looks like he's going to be able to continue. I'm happy to see that.
That's a really good sign. A little scary looking at that. You can see no intent whatsoever between Cordovas and a Gem. Really good to see him up walking around.
I have to be honest, that's better than I expected. When I saw that second replay and saw that knee give out just a touch. And here you get a really good look at the conditions here. Much applause to the spectators who were braving it. It's a beautiful part of the country, but today they're getting their share of rain. You got to regain your focus if you are Bethlehem after seeing your player get treated by the training staff, and they have won the ball back after a brief threat from Richmond. Now let's see if they can get it to the Jim and see how he is moving. A sweet pass there, and Jones is taken down. That will get a whistle. Shanoski hit with a foul there, and Jones a little slow to get up and not getting up. He's just a little wobbly as well. It was a hard fall. And now he has survived and will play on. Key player for this Bethlehem side here, Derek Jones, with an injury to Chambers. He has become the fulcrum of this offense. the gym got a touch there. Skundrich marked by Osei-Wusu. And Jones again. Rial, the goal scorer. Now Moar. Moar again, attracting a big crowd. Jones, not sure what he was trying to do with that, but it didn't work. Cordovez trying to dump it off to Amura, and that failed.
At some point defensively, Richmond has to take into account for that diagonal ball back across. It's no secret in the game of soccer. It's one of those that happens. It's pretty common if a team can play that.
Trying to work it in to Moar. That did not work. Free ball. Who'll get there first? Bethlehem. And all the way back to Jake McGuire. I haven't mentioned his name very much in the last 10 minutes or so. And really, since the Bethlehem goal, neither goalkeeper has been tested. The Bethlehem goal by Rial in the 29th minute. Now Austin Yearwood trying to get by Bizo, but cannot get by Bizo, and he now has it.
I've been impressed with the play of Bizo, not just defensively, but on the attacking end as well. He had that miscommunication on the first goal for Richmond. But going forward, he's been strong defensively 1v1. He's done a good job. He stood up his attackers, done a nice job of not really letting them get by. And then he's one of the first ones you already see him joining the attack once again and giving his teams options on that right flank.
Moyer to Rial, down that left side again where Bethlehem has been so effective. Rial will try, and it goes wide, but still in play. Not sure if he was passing or shooting that.
Well, we've seen the ball laid back across so much that Allen and Herbers both go to that spot. They know that it's going to come back. Well, guess what? At that point, Rial didn't play it there. So they still need a far post runner. Yes, the one has been on the diagonal, has been on. Yes, it's worked, but you still need a far post runner because sometimes the ball slips through.
Oh, Allen trying to chip through, and that did not work. Another Bethlehem player down. No call on the play. You see shots, Bethlehem dominating in that, 12-2. And that is Herbers who is down, and the referee will stop play. And we'll take a look. I like the creativity Allen tried here.
That's so tough to play through. I think Shinosky maybe stands Herbers up. Maybe didn't see him on that push, but that ball from Allen is tough at any time, especially on this field when the ball skips, because there's no real space between Allen playing the ball and the goalkeeper. So it has to drop and stay, otherwise it's going to run right to the keeper. Another player down to the turf after a collision. A foul going to go against Derek Jones that time, and this is Udai Amura. There's going to be a run on ice in the Lehigh Valley based on the way this game is going. Richmond trying to get organized. Yearwood, that's nowhere near what he was trying to do, trying to feed it in to Cordovez. It's swept away by the Bethlehem back line. It sounds like the rain has lessened a little bit, and we don't see as much of it on our cameras on this angle anyway. And that should go through the keeper, and does. And Schreiber that time misfired. Bethlehem trying to break a 5-match winless streak. Richmond trying to get a second consecutive win. And now Mikel Williams with Allen in pursuit. Drops it off to Osei-Wusu. Trying to work it to Schreiber, and it was deflected off of him, so the throw-in coming up here for Bizo. Good touch there by Amura. Back to the keeper, a little forechecking from Moyer, and down he goes, but keeping the pressure on. Mora was confident there. He was brave. He had a feeling that he was going to have Mowar come that touch away from him, forced Mowar to slip. But that was brave.
Well, it's the kind of day where you might take something simple for granted and you slip and make a mistake, and all of a sudden there's a freebie just sitting there. Here's Allen, marked by Williams, and he slipped trying to make a turn. Trying to fight back for the ball, has to be careful not to foul from behind out of frustration. He didn't. And back to the keeper we go.
Allen gets lost in the run of play. With all the creative players for Bethlehem, the way that they attack, a lot of times the wide plays on. So you get an outside back forward, or Mowar and Real, you see them interchanging a lot, and the movement from the wide players. So with Allen, sometimes he gets lost because when that wide play is on, he then has to find his way in the box, and that's where he will be good. But if the ball just comes up to him, like in this last play in centrally, he's all alone and has to be able to hold it and wait for the other players. But for him, if he's going to get on the score sheet more for them, he needs to be more active in the box, because in the build-up, the ball's going to go wide. They have so many creative players that can get forward in those areas that it's going to find its way there first, so he needs to find his way to the box.
Waiting word on stoppage time, which we expect should be pretty big. And we're hearing that it's only going to be 2 minutes, which I am shocked at. Referee wants to get in and put on a clean, dry shirt, I think.
That's what it seems like, 2 minutes.
I was going to guess 5.
I was going 6. I mean, 2.
Yep, and it's confirmed by the public address announcer here in Lehigh. Another slip. Well, let's see who can put on one last pressure. It's going to go in front. Yo, just can't believe that Cordovas missed a golden opportunity. He was unmarked and just couldn't quite one-time this into the back of the net. What a great feed this is.
That ball whipped in. It came forward. Cordovas just slips in between right back and center back, finds his way into the box, and all he has to do is redirect. He takes it with his left foot. It's coming across his body. He doesn't miss by much, but he opens his hips up to take that ball with his left foot, which is why it misses on that left side.
It was Alex Lee with the pass, and that was absolutely gorgeous delivery. Waning seconds of this first half, 1-1 in a rematch from March 18th. Now Bethlehem trying to jailbreak a quickie here. They go to Moer. He's been so dangerous on this side, trying to clear some more space for himself. Allen, you can see moving into position, and they couldn't quite get it there, and Amora will finally clear it out. That should belong to Bethlehem, and that will be our half. So goal by Javier Cordovas as a substitute coming into the 10th minute. And then a beautiful goal by Matt Rial. They have tallied for us here. Everybody gets to dry off a little bit, Morgan, and it'll be interesting to see the second half.
It's a bit of a nasty day. I think that's an understatement. But the play from Bethlehem, I'm impressed the way that they have been able to possess and build an attack. Richmond on the other end, defensively, they've gotten lucky a couple times. They have to account for that ball that comes back across defensively. They need to mark those runners coming forward, because they know if Bethlehem gets forward, especially on the left side, if the ball's going to come back towards that penalty mark, they have to mark it up better there.
We've got a lot of Eastern Conference talk yet to come. And of course, we'll take a look around the league to get you caught up on the ESPN schedule as well, and our first half highlights. 1-1, Cordovas with the goal coming off the bench to get things started for the Kickers. Bethlehem would get the equalizer from Real. A blistering shot, low into the corner.
The heat will wear you out real quick. And we've been through some hot ones. It's very physical. You gotta take care of your body and stay hydrated, because every moment matters. That's why I drink Advocare Rehydrate. I've got a job to do.
Tonight wasn't the first time I ended up in the last row at a show. My friends say I'm last minute. I prefer spontaneous. You take your chances when you live like that. But believe me, there's a difference between the back row of one show and the back row of another. Here, the back feels a lot like the front.
Live music, great times. Marty Stewart and his fabulous Superlatives, Friday, May 18th. Dark Star Orchestra, Saturday, May 19th. An evening with Michael McDonald, Sunday, May 20th. We'll see you at the Peak.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
We are even at 1 here with Bethlehem Steel and the Richmond Kickers. A couple of spectacular goals, and we've had a few that have come very close to scoring, but have not come in. You know, are any of those candidates for goal of the month in the USL? Well, how about we take a look at what's out there right now?
Mira moving forward, Wynn. Oh, a misplay in Alan Wynn. Down the right side, cuts it back. Alan Wynn! Fire it up! Alan Wynn strikes! Nashville has the breakthrough!
Hashimoto. Selbel, familiar territory. Selbel shooting from the corner, he put it in! Oh, what a finish! Low, tapped and in to the back of the net. Sacramento has equalized here in the 57th minute.
You're at least building a philosophy so that...
No here for Aguilar, and he rips that shot! A 2-0 lead for New York Red Bulls.
They are off next week, and they don't play for 10 days after this one. Going for goal, and how about that strike from 35 yards out?
Verhoeven again, boy, he's really provided a spark. This teenager in the Whitecaps Academy, another long-range shot! You gotta be kidding me! What a goal!
Barbie has Mulligan behind him. He'll go 1v1 versus Adam. Cross comes in towards the back of the box. Shot taken and a goal by Johnny Aromacy. And we are level in the 56th minute. But ball kept back in. Astafio chips it, far post. Bicycle kick. Goal! Kenny Tribbett! Kenny Tribbett the goal!
Goalkeepers like to have a completely open view of what's happening. Oh my goodness. What a goal. What an absolutely stunning goal.
All of a sudden, on the attack again. Partita with the shot. A goal for Kevin Partita, the local from Sparks.
Well, that only leads to one thing. It is time for another edition of the Breakdown.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Breakdown. Really excited to analyze the plays of the week this week. We even have an ESPN Sports Center #1 in the top 10. I hope you enjoy.
Great little move there from Cooper. Sends it across. It's Jamal Johnson.
The first play from Jamal Johnson here is his goal. If you watch when he picks the ball up, he has almost like a 8 to 10 meter radius around him. And that's created by his movement and his space. You know, he's recognized that when he's going into the box, that he doesn't need to make the first post run. He doesn't need to make the far post run. It's an extremely difficult finish, and it's coming across his body, and he makes extremely good contact on the ball. He uses the pace of the cross and slots it right into the corner.
To have a completely open view of what's happening. Oh my goodness. What a goal.
I don't think there's any doubt as to why this was the #1 on the ESPN Sports Center. It's a very special thing for a player to see a goalkeeper off a line, especially from a goal kick, because he's not expecting the ball to bounce to him, especially the way it bounced to him. So when the ball did bounce to him, I think that he just thinks, why not? And he's just shown everyone there is the technique that he has, but he also showed me what I feel as though is the mentality of a player, which is something that we've not seen yet this season. I think it's fantastic.
Francois takes it away, plays it back, Brett holds, scores!
Yes, what a great pullback.
Francois' defensive play here is what creates the goal. You know, his teammate loses the ball, he takes a bad touch, but he doesn't give up on it, and he persists, and his reaction to the turnover is fantastic. And then Brett can either do one or two things. He can take a touch or he can finish it first time. The defender thinks he's going to take a first-time shot, and that's what then allows him to have the composure to relax, take the touch, and it's a great finish.
Manila makes a meal out of that one. Now Ledesma on the breakaway, and it's 3-0 as he chips Maxime Crepeau.
This goal for Cincinnati in the 76th minute is a lot about anticipation for Ledesma. The defender makes a great decision here to play the ball in behind, and when the Ottawa defender makes the mistake, and again he anticipates the mistake, maybe if it was 0-0 at the time and it was going on to win the game or try and win the game, he might have taken a touch close to the keeper. But with the way they were playing, I completely understand why he's taken the first-time finish. Thank you for watching the breakdown on Week 7. As you can see, some fantastic goals, some fantastic plays, and I've really enjoyed analysing them. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Halftime here in this matchup, a rematch really between Bethlehem and Richmond. Time to take a look around the league here, Morgan. We look at our USL Player of the Month April nominees. You can vote on this, by the way, for the fans. You get more than half of your vote will count. So who do you like out of this group of Brett, Lancaster, Rios, Belmar, and Rawls?
Right now, Cameron Lancaster, for Louisville team that went undefeated until yesterday, to have 4 goals, but 11 shots on goal during the month. He's so active. They have so many strong players, and for Cameron Lancaster, that's an incredible month. But all of these guys are good options.
Well, we are in a very hectic stretch now in May in the USL. We already had one game knocked off today with the Red Bulls and Nashville knotted up at 1. On Friday, the Riverhounds take on Indy 11, Charleston, and Bethlehem Steel. Saturday at 7, and Charlotte and FC Cincinnati. They and Louisville head-to-head right now for supremacy in the East.
But I'm watching that Pittsburgh-Indy game. Indy just took down Louisville to hand them their first loss. Pittsburgh is also undefeated on the year this year. 4-0-3, 3 ties. Can Indy do it twice in 2 games?
Well, you'll find out on Friday at 7. And also coming up now, we welcome you to our USL and ESPN schedule. And coming up, starting in Fresno, where that feisty Fresno side will be featured on the 9th against RGV. Then 3 weeks later, it'll be St. Louis FC versus Phoenix Rising FC. Then FC Cincinnati taking on Bethlehem Steel, whom you're watching today on June 13th. 2 weeks after that, it'll be Nashville and Indy. And July 4th, stay indoors and watch Indy 11 take on the Ottawa Fury.
What is it? It's the vibe of life well lived, and it's happening right now in St. Pete Clearwater. 35 miles of white sand bliss and 1,000 ways to have your best day ever. Plan your getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Know what our family would do without TiVo. It doesn't matter if a show is live, on demand, or even streaming from Netflix. No more juggling remotes, switching inputs, or guessing who has the show or movie we want to watch, because it's all on one box. TiVo has great apps like Plex, which lets us stream home videos and music from our computers and phones. And with kid-friendly apps like Toon Goggles, I feel safe giving the kids a little TV freedom. And I can enjoy mine too.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
So on a rainy day in the Lehigh Valley, we are 1-1 with Bethlehem Steel and Richmond Kickers in a rematch from opening day Saturday when Bethlehem dominated the game 4-1. Turns out, for the moment, that's the Steel's only three-pointer of the season. Richmond has picked up a couple of wins since then and a draw. Bethlehem has 2 draws and 3 defeats. With Morgan Conklin, Dave Lamont. It's been an exciting match. The conditions have been brutal for the two sides, but we have not lacked for excitement.
I mean, it started early off. Bethlehem, this nice ball sent in from Najem, and Santi Moar just connecting on the header. That would be the first of a lot of opportunities coming from Santi Moar. Gets the shot off on his right foot. He loves to cut in, but Yearwood right here, the goal, sends the ball across to Cordovez. Back at an angle, we would see both teams be successful from the run of play, cutting the ball back across from Cordovez. That's a simple finish for him.
He had just come in the game for Gentile, who left the game with a leg injury.
On the other end, though, Matt Real was getting forward on the end line. The ball cut back across. Najem didn't keep it low, got under the ball, but we saw this time after time from Bethlehem attacking the end line, cutting it back across, but also we saw Moar just finding space for himself, cutting up defenders and getting forward. But right here, he takes on his defender, Shanoski, brings the ball central. Najem hits the crossbar with a nice connection on the ball, and Herbers can't finish the second chance, just misses wide. Bethlehem put the pressure on Richmond, getting forward. Once again, we've seen this so many times, but this was the nicest one from Moar. He cuts it back right between the legs. Looks like he's going to shoot, fakes it, finds Real, who's in that space right in the pocket, and he's able to put this one away.
And that was the equalizer in the 29th minute.
Bethlehem wasn't done. There were a couple more chances before the end of the game. Moar found his way to the right, and a header coming from the center right at the top of the 6, able to get through. Skundrich not able to connect with that one, and then Lee, one of the last chances. But for Richmond, right before the half, sends the ball across. Cordovez once again finds his way free in the box, but can't connect.
Take a look at the stats, and Bethlehem with a comfortable advantage in shots and 2-1 on target. Possession, which they wanted is better than 50% today. And the yellow card went to Cordovez in the 36th minute for the Kickers.
And I was proved wrong. I was saying possession is going to be difficult to win that battle and to focus on that, especially with the conditions. But Bethlehem did it, and they were successful. They were able to work together as a team and build their attack. It was a lot prettier in terms of the soccer playing than I thought it would be, just based on the conditions. So I was extremely impressed from them in that first half.
One thing I don't hear in our microphones, rain.
It's amazing.
Now, I don't want to jinx this, but we've
had, hopefully it didn't just happen.
It's basically been the third member of our announce team today has been rain into our microphones. And at the moment, I don't hear it. Might get some later on, though, as we start with what hopefully will be a drier second half. Bethlehem Steel in the blue, the Kickers in the white with the red. And a throw-in coming in here. And turned over immediately by Najem. The Duval forecast is telling us, however, that we may get some rain in a few minutes. We'll find out if our staff weatherman is correct.
He's slacking today. Normally we get a graphic of the radar.
Yep.
He brings it on. I guess we didn't have that to start this broadcast.
Well, I got to say the pitch has held up really well because we had rain before the match started. We had rain the entire first half. That's a tricky little ball there. And now Moar. Not a lot of room to work. He's trying to create something for himself. He'll get it back in. Dangerous. Almost cashed in. And Richmond will try to get out of there, relieve the pressure, and Skundrich with a foul.
Santi Moar, have yourself a game. I mean, come on. He is just slicing up defenders, is able to get end line, tries to play the ball back across, but that's what I wanted to see from Richmond. Mikel Williams is ready for it. He knew where it was coming. They were beat by it multiple times. Bethlehem had too many chances from that ball cut across. Mikel Williams was just waiting, knew exactly where it was coming, and able to clear it.
Yep, Moar have to be a man of the match candidate for the steal. Herbers. Najem, shot blocked, but on the foot of Herbers, lays it off for Moar. Getting close, shooting, and another one off the pipe. That's 3.
Herbers is a player for Bethlehem that I think is going unnoticed a bit because of the work that we've seen from Moar, but he slides this ball across. Moar puts it on his left foot. He's shown he can go both ways. Tries to sneak it in that near post, just pops the post. But Santi Moar is making these defenders work. He is not letting them have an easy Sunday.
The Pipes have more saves than both of our goaltenders combined, or at least equal, right? I think we've had 3 saves in the first half between the 2 keepers. The Pipes have 3 also. Unbelievable.
They've definitely been challenged more than the keepers have.
And all of them off the feet of Bethlehem players, too. Richmond trying to recover, trying to get their first build-up of this half. Very early going, and it'll be swept away there by Jake McGuire. And Jones, not a clean touch there at all.
That doesn't look like much, but that's another miscommunication. You see Bizo coming over, Jones. If one of them calls louder, then Jones will win it and Bizo won't step, or Jones will know that Bizo's right next to him and he won't try to pass it into the space where he thinks he is. So that's one of those little things. We saw it break down defensively in the first half, which led to the Richmond goal. So it's those little communication, and I'm only honing in on that because it's something that Brendan Burke was saying that this team needed to focus on and really be successful at in this game today.
Sounds like the rain has returned. A few more umbrellas have popped open. And that was just a very short respite for the players and spectators and officials. No changes, by the way, from either manager from halftime. They've already had one Richmond substitution. Bethlehem has all 3 of theirs in pocket. Throw-in coming up here for Bethlehem. Raul Gonzalez was looking for a whistle, but he just pretty much fell down. And Travis Wara gets a touch. In those colors, you'll find him no matter how dark and rainy it gets. He will stick out. Just a little bit too much that time for Brandon Allen off the foot of Adam Najem.
And it's a solid turn, but Allen and Najem just not on the same page. And that's what I was speaking to a little bit when I was saying that I think Allen gets lost in the run of play a little bit. I think the communication and the connection just isn't there yet. He's still fairly new to this team. It's still a bit early in the season, but I want to see how he gels into the team because you're looking at last year, their 2 target forwards were successful and they were the main goal scorers. So how does Allen make his mark on this Bethlehem team?
Well, here'd be one way if he could get to that ball first, but that was overdone for him. Allen had a brace in the first game when these 2 teams met, has not scored a goal since then.
And you can just see the frustration. He was the 2016 USL Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's a player that knows how to score goals. He scored the rookie goal record with 15, had 50 goals in college at Georgetown. So he's a player that's used to scoring. So right now to only have 2 on the season, you can just see he's frustrated, especially when his runs don't come off or they can't find him during the play.
That's a great job there by Gonzalez to get it away from Moar, who's trying to come back on him now. Gonzalez has a little room to work. He'll feed it in front. It's swept away. Rebound comes out. Amora takes a rip, and it's going to be a corner kick coming up for the Kickers.
The turnover caused by Raul Gonzalez was key there, but was even better for them in that attack was that they force Santi Moar to defend. He doesn't want to. He wants to go one direction. He wants to get forward. So for Gonzalez to pick the ball off and be able to get at the back line, Moar's the first player that has to step, and he's not wanting to do that work. He'll do it, but he would rather attack.
So Raul Gonzalez, who has a goal and an assist on the year, will send this toward the center. And a rebound is just blasted away there by Amora. You can see Osei Wusu was hesitating for a second, and Amora just launched that one. That might have wound up in the dean's office at Lehigh.
We've seen Amora finish. He was our player to watch at the beginning. We've seen him put nice strikes on frame and strike through a ball and just be able to finish. But right there, didn't come off, didn't connect very well.
Here's the captain, Derek Jones. A little bit of room. Makes one move, fires, but not much on that shot. Excuse me, that was Bizo, number 5, not Jones. And he has been an attacking force at times.
We saw him get up in the flank a lot during the first half. He forced Shriver to drop from his attacking role and defend him. But once Bizo got past Shriver, he had so much space because he had beaten his defender. Tried to get a look on frame. I don't blame him for trying to shoot that. He's put a lot of work in, sent some crosses in. He wanted to keep it for himself.
Oh, he had room. The shot was just not on target. Now Lee trying to get it forward, see if Gonzalez will get there. The keeper will get there first. Moar got Jones on his left. He'll give it to the captain. Rial, who has the goal for Bethlehem Steel. And now the rain has definitely picked back up. You can see it on your screens as Moar attacks down that left side. Rial to his left. Instead to Herbers, too far, but Rial will keep it in play. Delivers, wide open, and it's saved off the line. Throw-in coming up. Drew Skundrich. His eyes had to be the size of dinner plates. We play on. Bethlehem gets a mistake on a slip, and Richmond will counterattack as the rain comes down heavier.
This is when the game's going to start to get messy, when it opens up, and then with the rain and just the pace of the play, but Moar can't get a touch at Real, keeps his run going. Skundrich tries to get a look on frame, but Mikael Williams just denies that. It's the second time Skundrich has been denied of a goal in his pro debut. But the way that this ball comes back across is laid right in front of him. I love seeing the two runs from Allen, from the gem, getting towards that near post, drawing defenders, but Mikael Williams, fantastic job just looking, moving his body to where the play is, and he's just able to clear that off the line. It almost, at first look, I thought it was Laura that cleared it. The way that Mikael Williams just put his body in front, I didn't think it was the defender at first look.
Yeah, he took that right in the cabeza, and it didn't seem to affect him one bit. That was a hard shot from Skundrich, too, but Williams just a brick wall back there. And now it's just the same kind of downpour we had for about 20 minutes in the first half. So you're right, Morgan. I completely agree. We are at the anything can happen phase of this game where somebody's going to slip. We could get a turnover and maybe an easy opportunity for someone.
And earlier in the game when we saw this, there was still possession, teams getting forward, but now the game's stretched a little bit. Players are a little bit more tired. There have been opportunities on both ends. Both teams are starting to maybe take a couple more chances and just see what can happen, like you said. So it may be a little messier in this second half.
But it could also be a lot of fun. Moar trying to work wide right this time. Got into some trouble, got triple teamed, and loses the ball. Amora will try to get a counterattack started for Richmond. You can see it, the field's getting heavy. That ball just died on its way to midfield. And you're starting to see some splashing now as the players start to run around a little bit around their feet. There's only so much a natural surface can take, and it's getting tested today. And the gym had the right idea, had plenty of room, but could not get a lot of pepper on that shot, so a simple save there for Travis Wara.
The gem was in the right place, and he worked off the ball to get his body ready for that shot, but he did not need to take that first time. That's a difficult ball to hit first time, even if the field is beautiful and it's a great day out. But in the rain, trying to get his body ready, if he takes the touch, he had the time to, he had the space to. Take a touch and get a better look on frame.
Now Alex Lee drops off for Gonzalez. Gonzalez will set up what should be a corner kick as his centering pass hit Brandon Aubrey. Let's see if that's going to be a throw-in or a corner. And it will be a corner kick.
Poor ball kids trying to hide in the trees to get away from the rain.
This comes out low, but he'll get to do it again.
Najem, just the ball played in from Saint Amour. He's just playmaking today. A really nice ball touched back. Najem hits it first time. He had touch to take a quick touch because he's so quick with his movement.
Oh, a dangerous corner kick that time as Cordovas came crashing in. And he and Brandon Aubrey bumped into each other. And finally, Cordovas ended up getting a foul, taking down another Bethlehem player.
Gonzalez whips this ball in. Cordovas tries to get to the near post, but a really nice job from Mahoney just getting to the touch first and not allowing Cordovas to get on the inside.
Well, I would think if you stick around for the full 90 here, if you're in the stadium, they should invite you back. They should give you a free ticket for an upcoming game. This is a thank you for sitting through a difficult day weather-wise. Easy for me to spend other people's money, isn't it? I'm really good at that. Allen dumping it off there. Nice little touch to Real. Herbers going wide left. Lost possession for a moment. He's fighting for this. Looking, he wants to get a feed, and he'll dump it off instead. Top of the box. Mower fires. It's blocked. But corner kick coming up for Bethlehem.
You're able to see the difference in players and what one player may be able to do better than others when another player tries to do the same thing. Herbers gets forward, and he tries to cut the ball back, but you can tell that the field's a little slip.
Now Mower, that's been his office all day long today. Gets it off to Najem. Najem throws it up into traffic. A lot of bodies around, but nothing happened on goal. We've got a player down for Richmond after a collision. And swept all the way back to, now we're going to get a stoppage of play. I thought there would be. That looks to be, I think that's Williams, who was shaken up on the play. There was a lot going on, a lot of bodies flying around on this service.
There's two things with Bethlehem. We know Moar is going to get to the corner. We know Najem is going to whip a ball in, sends that ball in. There's a ton of players in the box. Williams gets an elbow to the face from Allen as he's just trying to open up his body.
Select is the official ball sponsor of the USL for Select products and special offers.
Why on earth do you need to spray your face with water today, of all days?
Just look up to the sky.
Well, he's all right. Didn't see any blood or any cut. The elbow looked just be run of play, just one of those things. And he'll be fine. Listen, if he could stop that Skundrich shot that came in pretty high heat with his forehead, he can take the elbow too. But it certainly has to hurt a little bit, no doubt.
That might be the one where he wakes up in the morning, has a little bit of black and blue around the eyes.
Yeah, he'll be hitting the local drugstore for some pain relievers if he doesn't already have them in his travel bag. Richmond winless away from Richmond so far, and when they get home, they're home. They've got 4 consecutive matches in Richmond following this road trip. By then, their clothes may dry out. Now penetration here for the kickers. Osewusu. And they ended up losing it. Swept away by number 5, Olivier Bizo. See the shots, Bethlehem dominating in that category, but bottom line, we are still equal at 1. A little forechecking going on now here by Richmond, putting a lot of pressure. But a beautiful ball by Moer. My goodness, that was nice. Jones now turning around the defender. He's taken down, and this will be a call in favor of Bethlehem, and we may get a card here. Let's see. Oscar Umar, nope, escapes only with a lecture.
The team buildup before this was on, and it opened up the space for Jones. We saw him do this in the first game and find space in between the kickers' defense, but Umar just isn't even close to getting the ball there. It gets Jones completely, hacks him down. But Derek Jones, if he can find grass and find space in that middle, he's able to create, he's able to dribble, he's good on the ball, and he covers ground really well.
Najem with Real to his left. Goes to Moer instead. And Jones fake there, and that worked. Herbers. And that time Herbers' touch anticipated beautifully by Amora. And Richmond will try to break out of there.
Well done. Good passing defensively, and then they have that target, Cordovez, who's going to work towards the ball. Really good job defensively to close the space and then be able to pass out of it once they want it.
Just about every minute of action has been played in rain. We had a couple of dry minutes at the start of this half, but everything else has been soaked. But it's been a high-quality match. And a lot of suspense. It's hard to believe that 1-1 is going to be the final score. Herberts working his way around, decides to go back to the captain. And that was anticipated nicely by the Richmond backliners. Mahoney made a little run there. Jones wants control. Oh, good pass. Here's an opportunity now for Bizo. He's got a lot of room to work. Allen, top of the box, strikes, rebound, available. Skundrich gathers. And it just can't get it done. Allen, you see the frustration on his knees. He had room, he had time. The keeper was the equal to him.
The movement and the ball movement from Bethlehem is impressive. If it was a dry day, I would be impressed. But right now, the way that they're just knocking it around, they find Bizo wide, and he slips that ball, binds the seam into Allen. It's not as much of a diagonal as it has been, but he gets a little bit towards the end line, and then he just finds the pocket in between Yearwood and Williams. The ball gets on the left foot of Allen, and he just doesn't put a good shot on frame. Hits it directly to Wara. The follow-up from Skundrich. His first touch isn't clean. He tries to force the second one quickly with the defender on his back, and it's one of those moments where Skundrich are so close to goal.
He had a good opportunity the first half on a header.
He's had two good. That's his third good opportunity. You're so close. You know that's one you should finish. His first touch wasn't clean enough, which then makes the second one even more difficult.
Now Skundrich making his professional debut today out of Stanford and of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Beer sales end in the 70th minute.
And a substitution being made here for Bethlehem. And this Bethlehem Steel FC player substitution is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. So Fabian Herbers will check out.
And number 40, Brandon Allen.
And Nanko will come in.
And number 42,
Chris Nanko.
Substitutions take place in the 66th minute of play.
That's a move for Brendan Burke. Aiden Apodaca was a player in preseason who really impressed. He came in and was just scoring goals for them in preseason, was all over the attacking end. Had an injury at the beginning of the season, so he's just working his way back, still getting minutes, but he's looking to get on the goal.
So Allen out, Apodaca in. So Allen had one last chance of getting his third goal of the season, but it did not work. So Bethlehem left with one substitution. Richmond still has two. So we'll keep an eye on 42 and 37. Well, this is familiar territory for Moer. He'll leave it off. This is Apodaca. Back to Moer. This is where he has been so dangerous. Apodaca has some room. Strikes with the right foot. Blocked. Not much on that.
But you see where Apodaca's looking to go. He's wanting to find that far post, and he keeps the ball low, which, yes, it got blocked, but it's a good opportunity.
The Jim to Apodaca, trying to beat the keeper, and a fine effort by Wara to force the corner kick.
The insertion of Apodaca into this game, he's a player that's going to insert himself into the seams. You see this last ball played through, maybe a little bit too much. It's going to slip.
Here's a ripper and back of the net. Moer! Bethlehem has their first lead of the match.
for all that Moar has done, it was about time. He creates this himself. It's a short corner. It finds his way to Moar. He creates once again, breaks down this Richmond defense, and just strikes the ball to that far post. He knew where he wanted to put that, and he just completely placed it.
It seems appropriate he gets a goal. He needs to be rewarded somehow for his absolutely brilliant play today. And Bethlehem now takes the 2-1 lead, looking to break a 5-game winless streak.
This is when that focus becomes even more important. Hearing from Brendan Burke, they needed to stay concentrated, needed to stay focused. Defensively, the last 20-plus minutes, they have to all be on the same page because it's only a 1-goal lead, and they have outplayed Richmond. They have out-attacked Richmond, but Richmond is able to get that first goal and sneak it in because of a breakdown. So if they want to get their second win of the year, their second win over Richmond, they have to all be focused until the final whistle blows.
Well, and as you can see for yourselves, the rain now might be the heaviest we've had today. So what's the approach for Bethlehem? They have been the better team when attacking, but you still have to protect that lead, or do you? Do you go ahead and try to add a third one here? Apodaca was the intended recipient, but Williams makes a great play, and Wara hustles to prevent the corner kick.
I think Bethlehem just answered that question for us. They are showing that their game right now and today has been best when they get forward, and I don't think they need to change that because defensively they've been strong as well. Maybe towards the end of the game, maybe 80th, 82nd minute, start to go more defensive, but right now they don't need to. Keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah, and they're doing just that. The Jim shot is blocked, headed off the line there from Richmond, but Bethlehem keeping the pressure on. Moer will get there. He just scored a goal. He also has an assist today. Other side, Jones trying to gather, could not. And coming away with the ball instead was Yearwood. And a spirited effort here. It's amazing that that's Moer's first goal of the year. He's picked up a goal and an assist today, his first for both.
I spoke with Brendan Burke before the first Richmond Bethlehem game, so before the first game of the season, and was just asking him about Santi and what they want to see from him coming off his rookie campaign, runner-up for USL Rookie of the Year, and he was just saying that he's one of, or if not the most creative player in this league, and that he's just so strong with both feet, so there's not many players who can do as much as he can and create on both sides no matter where he is on the field. And he just said they want to get him going. He said when he gets into the zone, his instincts take over, and that's what we've seen today. They wanted him to get to this play, and this is exactly what Brendan Burke is asking from him.
So now Richmond down for the first time in this match. They had the first goal in the 10th minute from Cordobas. And Bethlehem got an equalizer from Real on an assist from Moer, and then Moer picked up the goal, put Bethlehem in front in the 68th minute. And Nanko, and he gets spun around, and he will draw a call there. A little frustration, and we might get a booking here. We do.
A yellow card is going to assess to Richmond's number 3, Austin Yearwood.
So Austin Yearwood gets put in the book.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news.
Frustration. It's just, that's what this comes down to. I think both sides are a little frustrated with the conditions, Richmond especially, just because they're having trouble containing this Bethlehem offense.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. And on orders over $50, you'll receive free shipping. That'll be in favor, obviously, of Richmond. And to the pocket, and a caution.
A yellow card is going to assess to Bethlehem Steel's number 39.
So Drew Skundrich has had opportunities to score a goal, but he'll go in the book with a caution. So we've had 2 yellows now in about 30, 45 seconds or so. Get a player's perspective of all the action around the USL every Wednesday as the Tampa Bay Rowdies' Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down on the USL YouTube channel. Here comes the kick into the box, but not very deep, and Real was able to get rid of it. Gonzalez got by nicely there. Over to Williams, as you can tell that Richmond is pressing forward. There's about all hands on deck at the moment. Nanko gets rid of it. Now Jones to Nanko. And Nanko takes off. Amura trying to guard him. Help coming from the other side. Switch now to Moair. Moair's got plenty of room to work with here. Right foot, left foot, right foot. And it's, beautifully tackled off the ball, but here comes a long shot and not an accurate one from Real.
Sounded like a Dr. Seuss novel.
Left foot, right foot?
Yeah, what is it, one fish, two fish? I mean, Santi Moar continues to just cut up defenders. It doesn't matter who it is. Gets the ball on his right. Nope, wants to go back to his left. But a really good job defensively from Richmond. It doesn't phase Alex Lee. He may have been cut up before, but he did a nice job responding right there and not letting it happen again.
Substitution has been ordered in for Richmond. Luis Fernando has taken Cordovas' place. Number 71, so now we're down to one substitution for each manager. Richmond on the attack, and the equalizer hit the side. Gonzalez missed. That goaltender was beaten. McGuire was a beaten man, and Gonzalez hit the post. We've had 4 shots hit iron today.
That ball looked like it was a step ahead, but he was able to get to that before McGuire was able to come out. I didn't think that was going to even be a shot on frame. I thought that was an easy save for McGuire. He didn't come out strong enough. But the post once again continues to play such a big role in this game.
I thought that was it. I absolutely thought that was an equalizer right there, and Gonzalez is going to really have a hard time living that one down when he tries to fall asleep tonight.
But those are the defensive lapses for Bethlehem. Communication, defensive lapses, those are causing them issues. Once again, the ball over the top is on. Shriver doesn't continue his run, but defensively for Bethlehem, if you have a 2-1 lead, if you have been outplaying a team, you cannot let this up. Gonzalez, though, the cheeky touch as he gets by Aubrey. He even hits the inner side of the post, but just doesn't have enough to make it go in.
He didn't get a hand on it either. You could see there was a little space between the fingers of McGuire and the ball, and 71, Luis Fernando, who just come in, could not get to the rebound. The Jim. And the flag is up.
Dave, you mentioned it, but you can see in the rings of the design that is on the field where the water's starting to sit a little bit more, especially right around the middle of the center circle, right in the middle there. The ball really sits, so that's just something. I think the rain has stopped, at least for now. Maybe I jinxed it again, but that's something to take into account because we are going to see this game just open up even more because the middle, it's difficult to play and difficult to ping the ball around.
Trying for the long feed to Brian Shriver, and an easy play there from McGuire. And Bethlehem slowing the pace just a little bit now. Looking for their second win on the year. Skundrich will switch it to Real. Throw in coming up. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Just go to @USL on Twitter. A fairly obvious foul. 77th minute. And it does look like it's dried up a little bit. Fernando. And McGuire does a smart thing right there. Just gets rid of it, lives to fight another day. That was headed to the far post and could have been very dangerous, but this does allow the kickers to go for the corner.
We've seen the service from Richmond be dangerous on the corners before. They're not afraid to whip it in, so defensively Bethlehem has to stay touch tight. If they're man marking, if they're in their zones, they have to be aggressive.
Gonzalez will attempt. It comes out a little bit short. And the counterattack foiled there by Amura. Gonzalez now 1v1. Hand fighting, really, with Moer. Moer doing a little bit of everything in this game.
This is what it looks like when Santi Moir is in the zone and his instincts take over. I mean, this season for him could be outstanding. If he can continually bring this or this sort of game each time he steps on the field. Wow.
Well, he picked up his first assist and his first goal of the season today. And has absolutely been, at least in our opinion, I imagine you feel the same way, that he's the top player of the match. Ball through here, though, dangerous. Left behind and a little bit too delicate for Osei-Wusu. Oh, that's reaction is not going to sit well with the official. You could tell immediately when Umar reacted. That'll be a yellow for him. That's the third of this half. I don't know if he got hit for the yellow for the reaction or for the foul itself. All right, we've talked about our man of the match. It's iron, or maybe steel since it's Bethlehem. That's number 2. Number 3, the Doinker. Not this one, but it happened to Richmond too.
Imagine if all of these win. We'd have a 5-2 game right now in the rain.
We'd be talking about one of the biggest offensive displays of the season for both teams. One more here. That just is going to come up here because that one off the head.
It's pretty much like the post.
Yeah, might as well have been. And then Gonzalez off the inside of the post. Meantime, back to live action. Jones. Moer again. Moer everywhere. But that time a little bit too much and good defense.
Mikael Williams, fantastic defending from him. It's difficult for him to defend Moir because their centers of gravity are so different, but he does a nice job.
The gym firing, and it's just a little bit high. And had it been lower, it would have hit the crossbar.
But that's where Richmond is in trouble because Williams does a nice job standing up Moir, but then they lose possession eventually. Nobody steps in a gem. He finds the ball, turns, gets a touch right to the top of the box, picks his head up, sees where he wants to go, but just misses target. There has to be a player that's going to step. If the midfield has already been beaten in the press, a defender has to step high, has to put pressure on a gem. He can't dribble into the box and pick his head up and see where he wants to shoot.
That might have been the dagger had that gone in. You got a good look at that. That was really close. Did not miss by much. And the last substitution being used by Richmond.
17, Oscar Umar.
Umar will check out.
Entering in his place, number 4, Fred Owusu-Sekiri.
So Owusu-Sekiri comes in. Fred Owusu-Sekiri, number 4, will check in. And Sekiri with a touch here, wide left. Richmond now an opportunity here for Luis Fernando, and he'll lay it off. Solid header that time by Aubrey. 82nd minute, Richmond trying to get an equalizer. And a strip. Apodaca on the break. Moar trying to get to Apodaca. The goalkeeper's out, takes down Apodaca, and we're going to the penalty kick spot for this one. Wara well off the line, gambled and lost.
Apodaca was dedicated to this run, gets a toe in, tries to touch it around Wara. Wara doesn't get ball. I don't know if that's a peak. I don't think he brings him down, though. It looks like Apodaca was going down before Wara got to him.
I think the one argument you can make in favor of the ref is it was late. I think that's where he's going to stand, and that's obviously going to be the opportunity now, the penalty kick.
I agree with that, but looking at that angle, it almost it didn't look like Wara brought him down.
Not go. 3-1, Bethlehem. Off the bench, Nanko strokes home what might be the dagger.
In that last play, Mawar didn't choose to play Nanko, but he had him streaking up the right side. He wanted to get in the attack there, so he steps up to the penalty mark here, and he strikes this ball to that left corner. He knew where he was going. Wara picks the right side, but he has no chance of even saving that.
So Nanko with his first goal, and Bethlehem getting closer to win number 2, both of them in Lehigh, both of them against Richmond, if they can hang on for the next few minutes.
I've been impressed with the response from Bethlehem. They had chances, a defensive lapse.
Luis Fernando draws a triple team. Laid it off for Gonzalez. Now Luis Fernando again, and he loses it to Jim.
The response from Bethlehem has been...
Yeah, that's, pardon me, Morgan, but that is going to be a card coming up here without question to Alex Lee. So my apologies, but we knew that card was coming.
No, there's a frustration from Richmond, which is very well warranted. And I'm speaking of how impressive Bethlehem has been, but on the other side, Richmond has just been unable to deal with these attacks getting forward. Lee not even close to trying to go for ball. It's a bit too obvious, but Richmond has given up 3 unanswered goals, and that's frustrating. And in these environments, and knowing that they fell to Bethlehem earlier already, it's a tough game for Richmond.
Well, a substitution as Santi Moar will check out after a magnificent game of a goal and an assist. And Michi Galina will come in.
Entering in his place, number 46, Michi Galina. Substitution in the 85th minute.
I want to see how this game is different without Santi Moar, because he was such an integral part
so
of it.
So does Richmond.
Really, what is different about this team? Is the attack different? This is our first look at Galina. What does he bring to this team? But Moar was so involved with every aspect of this Bethlehem attack today. The flank play, he'd find the ball middle and centrally and just bring other players into the attack. So what does it look like?
Zenenko, his first goal of the season, that was a PK in the 83rd minute. And Richmond maybe 0-3 away from home. But the good news for them is they'll be home next 4 matches. You have the referee's assistant a little bit late with that call, but the correct call. The ball had gone over the line. And if you didn't know, just ask Alex Lee. Meantime, you see the field conditions catching up, and there's a bad turnover by Richmond, as Moore just lost his balance and a little slow getting up, but he is up and moving around. Number 14 in white. Beautiful pass here. Will they get one more? No. The feed from Bizo, maybe not the best, but still Bethlehem attacking to the last whistle.
You see the runs from Galina and Apodaca. They both are going straight and then they cut across, but they both make the same exact run. So maybe the ball, it wasn't a bad ball, it just, they had 2 players in the same exact place. If one made their run different, it could have found its way through. One could have called the other off, but you have 2 players making the same exact run.
Second time this season with multiple goals. We remember the first one. And a little bit hooked there by a Jim to draw a foul, but no card. Throw-in coming up here for Richmond. Bethlehem will be heading to Charleston next on the 12th, next Saturday. And we're going to have a corner kick coming up. And for Richmond, their 4-game homestand will take up May 12th to 26th, and 2 dates in June. Begins with Tampa Bay. Then Charlotte, Pittsburgh, and Charleston will come to City Stadium. Far post, Gonzalez, competitive header, flicked over and not quite on, and cleared away by Derek Jones. Richmond fighting to the last. Play on, says the ref. Apodaca in the clear. Apodaca again meeting up with Wara, but that time Wara the better of it.
That's the third time Apodaca has gotten through, and his final touch has been longer than he wants it to be. The first one he was able to get around Wara. The second time he was pulled down. That time Wara didn't let him get by. But for Apodaca, in games moving forward, his runs are correct, but his touches need to be a little cleaner, especially the final one, so he has a chance to finish.
We'll see about stoppage time again. We have a short stoppage time in the first half, much to our surprise. We had a couple of injuries, including Giuseppe Gentile, who only lasted 9 minutes in the match before leaving with a right leg injury for Richmond. Gonzalez. Richmond full-on attack mode at the moment. That time is running out. That's a home field ball kick right there. Advances it a few feet forward just to make sure your guy gets a break. Well-trained young man.
If he was really good, he would hold on to the ball a little bit longer, so he's the one wasting time and not the players.
It's a 2-goal game, though. If it were a 1-goal game, I think he would have done that. But even he thinks this one's, as the late Chick Hearn would say, in the refrigerator. Looking at least 3 minutes of added time. So Richmond, they can pull off a miracle here. Try to steal a point, but they've got a lot of work and not much time. Well, those who came out and fought through this weather have been rewarded. Throw-in coming up for the Kickers. Got about 2 minutes left in this one. And if you're wondering when these teams meet again, I don't believe they do. Taking a quick look here at the Richmond schedule. It's one of those little scheduling quirks where the only 2 meetings were early in the season. No, I take that back. August 4th. And that will be in Richmond. So they will get one crack at revenge. Meantime, a chance to pour on another goal is stopped by the Kickers' defense, and they'll try to counterattack with around 90 seconds left. Maybe Dane Evans will deign to play in that game for Richmond. Could have used him today. Gonzalez, been zesty in this half on that right side. Apodaca. Nice little move there. He's got some folks with him. Trying to play a through ball. It did not work out, but he's been an effective substitute since he's come in.
What I've learned from this game is how when a player is on, St. Timor is not this whole Bethlehem team, but when he's on, how much better this team can be and how much better he makes those around him. It's not just his work that he does, it's what he creates and what other people are able to do because of his work.
He was heads and shoulders the finest player on the field today with a goal and an assist. Just a constant presence, a constant threat.
But even someone coming in, you look at the impact that Aiden Apodaca made. Right now, Bethlehem is not getting the performances that they would like out of Brandon Allen. That's a competition between those two. Apodaca is going to come in off the bench. Granted, didn't play as much, but look what he did in his time.
And the final whistle. Bethlehem has picked up a second win of the season. Both of them against Richmond, both of them at Lehigh. And multiple goals both times, 3-1. Satisfying victory for Brendan Burke, no doubt, against the Hall of Fame coach, Lee Cowlishaw. So Moar playing brilliantly. Derek Jones had a solid game. The gym was dangerous. I mean, Bizo, there's a lot of names. Rial with a goal today, too. A lot of players stepping up for the steal here.
But as a team, Bethlehem making it look like rainy, wet field conditions are their conditions of choice. They took advantage of that, were able to create that possession that they wanted. I was a little doubtful. They proved me wrong. They played pretty soccer on a gross day, and that's not easy to do.
Our man of the match has to be Santi Moar with his first goal and first assist of the season. It's an absolutely brilliant performance and perhaps a sign of things to come for Bethlehem. We'll step aside and wrap up a Bethlehem victory over Richmond when we return. Well, everybody gets to dry out now in the Lehigh Valley after a rainy Sunday afternoon. Results in the home side winning 3-1, taking down the Richmond Kickers, who scored first in the 10th minute when a substitute coming on for Gentili had the first match. The first goal of the match, I should say.
James Chambers walking with Brendan Burke. He's a bit of a coach role right now while he's out, but looking at highlights, it started out early. Richmond getting on the attack. Yearwood sending the ball across Cordovez, an early sub into the game, stepping in, doing what he does as a big forward, able to finish that. A defensive lapse that we saw from Bethlehem, that was an issue of worry for them, but they were able to get on the other end of it. Najem hitting the crossbar, one of the many times that happened during the game. Herber's on the other side, not able to finish, but Santi Moar just showing off today, able to cut, goes for the fake shot. Real finds the space, wants the ball, jumping up and down, and able to finish to that corner.
Much to the joy of that ball kid in the background there. That was the equalizer. We went into the dressing rooms to dry out a little bit, and it was 1-1 at that point.
Moar, though, still before the end of the half, sending in crosses time after time. We thought Skundrich was going to get his first pro goal, and right before half, this ball sent across Cordovez just misses frame, but gets his body in front. In the second half, Moar just creating even more, hits the post, for the second of 4 times for Bethlehem over the course of the game, but he wouldn't be done. This ball, though, sent across the Royale, pops right back down to the center of the park. Can't get it to go. Williams acts like a post there, is just able to clear that off the line.
The Jim with the strike there that he could have been more patient on. Here's Allen. This was his best look. And the rebound, Skundrich, another chance, and he skied it.
Just one of those moments where his first touch wasn't clean. He wasn't expecting it, pops the ball off. So by the time he tries to drive through, it pops over. But Moar creating for himself. He was due for a goal, all that he did. Brings the ball in central with his right foot and just finds that far post. Just a beauty. But Richmond on the other end, they hit the post as well. The ball slides through to Gonzalez, their best chance besides that goal, I would say. Gonzalez just not able to finish.
And Apodaca, the substitute, drew a penalty against the goalkeeper, and Nenko finished it off, and that ended that. 30 shots credited to Bethlehem, and a third of those on target, only 1 for 7 for Richmond. Bethlehem did get what Brendan Burke wanted, better than 50% possession.
I am so surprised. I'm not surprised to see those shots, but 30 shots. I don't know the last time I saw that in one of these games, especially for Bethlehem. And to get 10 of them on frame, they were active and they made the most of their chances getting forward. The possession stat, like you said, they were one. That was a goal for them coming in. They achieved that. They wanted to fix the focus issue. They had a small lapse, were able to get over that, responded with 3 goals for the team. A great performance from Bethlehem, especially getting over that first goal that they gave up.
So Bethlehem picks up the 3 points. They improved to 2 wins, 3 defeats, and 2 draws, while the Kickers dropped to 2 wins, 4 defeats, and 1 draw. They head home for 4 games, while Bethlehem will take on Charleston next. And a great performance by those who showed up. Their next game for the Kickers will be against the Rowdies on May 12th at 7 o'clock in the River City. And for the Steel, off to the Battery, May 12th at 7 Eastern. From Goodman Stadium and Lehigh University saw the Bethlehem Steel pick up their second win of the season after falling behind 1-0. The Forge was with them this weekend. The first goal from the substitute was the only goal Richmond would get, as Moar, the man of the match, played both setup man and goal scorer in this one. For our crew and for Morgan Conklin, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you for watching the United Soccer League.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.